Hi again, VC. I just wanted to record a little addendum to my last video, which was all about a load of compilations that I bought when I was a teen during the mid-80s. Old albums and new albums that were released, or that I picked up sort of in the period 84 to about 88, that had some kind of influence on my musical tastes and expanded them. And during comments on that video, I realised there was one compilation that I had on tape that I hadn't talked about, and then I looked and I found another, I don't know, few tapes. So I'm gonna record a kind of a postscript to that, because probably the first place I really got exposed to music that was mine, rather than my parents, or, well, my parents, was on tape. And it really did, these helped influence my music taste as well. Now the first thing that I got that really did was mine. Well, I had to share it with my sister, but it was mine, and I kind of owned it. Was this one? This is there we go. There we go. McVitie's Pop Hits. I think this is volume 1. I'm gonna have to get my glasses on. McVitie's Pop Hits, and I think it's volume 1. But this was actually one of the first things I ever listened to that was current at the time, or just behind. So on here you've got things that have really just stayed with me. So many tracks of this on here have stayed with me. There's a couple that haven't, because they're bloody awful. I think got this about, must have been maybe 82, maybe 80, maybe late 82, maybe early 83, maybe. But obviously I was getting into music at the time. All I remember is the amount of Jaffa cakes I had to eat to save up enough boxes so that we could get this. There was a fair few, but I did love Jaffa cakes at the time. So yeah. So on this, it's a great compilation. Starts off with Haircut 100, who I now own on vinyl after all these years. I think I bought that in a charity shop maybe last year, which is fantastic. Actually, that's a brilliant album. And interestingly enough, I don't know if anybody ever watches Sounds of the 80s when it's on the BBC Red Button, those people in England. But Nick Hayward was the guest last week, and it was great seeing all those old videos. It was brilliant. Then you got Is It a Dream by Classics Nouveau, which, then you've got probably 3 of my favourite songs from the 80s. You've got Girls on Film by Duran, even though at the time, and I've mentioned this on Steve Whitty's latest video, I wouldn't have admitted I was a Duran fan for Love Nor Money, but looking back, they were fantastic. Then you got Life in Tokyo by Japan, which I knew was good from the first time I heard it. And then you got Brave New World by Toya. I'm sorry, I still love Toya. Still love Toya. I don't think I've ever shown any of my Toya records, but that might have to be done. And then you've got Golden Brown by the Stranglers, which now, possibly through overplaying, I just find it a bit hard to listen to at the moment. Then you've got More Than This by Roxy Music. I mean, that spawned my love for Roxy. Then you've got, well, Just an Illusion by Imagination. Well, I told you there was some Duff tracks. Love Is Alright by UB40. Then you've got Runaway Boys by Stray Cats, and that's another album I've bought in the last year and a half or so. Got No Brains by Bad Manners, which is an underrated pop classic. I just think that's absolutely brilliant. And then you've got Deutsche Girls by Adam and Jans, which was recorded by the Jans in '78, and I think it was their earliest recording. which hit the charts when they hit big in the early 80s. So that was a brilliant introduction to pop, and I know all of these songs, even Ruddy Imagination, which I will never want to listen to again. As part of that same series, I think we only had enough tokens. They ran it once, and then they ran it again. Well, the promotion again. Managed to get enough tokens together to get Rock Classics Volume 2, again from McVitie's. Jaffa Cakes, so much to answer for. Right, and on here, this really opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. So, I mean, this is the first time I'd heard a lot of this stuff. So we got Elton John version of Pinball Wizard, which is a bit pants, really. Then you got Whiskey in a Jar by Lizzie. Hold the Line by Toto. It's alright. All the Young Dudes by The Mop. Dead Ringer for Love. And I'm sorry, but Meatloaf deserves some kudos for some of his earlier stuff. I mean, Bat Out of 2 is bollocks, but his earlier stuff with Gin Steinman, I'm sorry, but there's some good stuff on that. And then you got Freebird by Skinnerd. Oh my god, that first time I've heard Skinnerd. Wishing Well, Free, Nights in White Satin, Nutbush City Limits, Make Me Smile, Come Up and See Me, Cockney Rebel, Black Magic Woman by Santana's on here, and then you got music by John Miles, which is a bit pants. But for a biscuit-related release, this is fantastic. And that opened up new avenues for investigation when I picked this up. I mean, Free, Mott, Skinnerd, I mean, just Lizzie, they're just giants, aren't they? Right, then we come to the reason I'm recording this video. This is a tape that I forgot. Right, so I just got C86. Well, probably the year before I got C86. Then I went away to university in late 87, and I remember vividly going down to, this was in London, so I remember vividly going down to the HMV shop on Oxford Street, because I lived up in the West End, and going into their tape sale, just having a look, see what was around, and I saw this. I think it cost me, I don't know, maybe a couple of quid, maybe, at the time. But when I saw the track listing, I had to get this. Had to get it. I mean, along with I would place this alongside C86 for me in terms of importance. The tracks you got on here, you got A Certain Ratio, Mickey Way, which is the first time I was exposed to that kind of indie funk, that kind of post-punk indie funk stuff. Another Half Man Half Biscuit on. More Soup Dragons, first Erasure hit, 1000 Violins with Please Don't Sandblast My House, which is absolutely brilliant track. Guana Bats, bit of rockabilly revival there. My first exposure to the Poppies, was that the first one? Yes, it would have been. First exposure to the Poppies. Oh Grebo, I Think I Love You, where the name comes from. Wedding Present again. Blue Aeroplanes, Lover and Confidant. I think that is one of the great underrated singles of the 80s. It is an absolute masterpiece of a song. Joy Division Transmission, which was from a Peel Session, because Peel Sessions were always being released at the time. And then a New Order song from Peel Session. Then you've got the goth contingent, Grip of Love and Rose by Ghost Dance and Rose of Avalanche. And I've got records by them. Well, I'm looking for Ghost Dance records. Ciccone Youth, which was Sonic Youth, covering Into the Groovy by Madonna. Absolutely phenomenal record. And that got me interested, you know, what furthered my interest in all things. Actually, it might even predated it would have done. That would have been the first time I really heard like Sonic Youth in any form. And then you got a lot of Jaws to the Close with some absolutely prime C86 bands. So you got the Chesterfields, the Razor Cuts, the Flatmates, I Could Be in Heaven, Fuzzy Pop, to In Excelsis, Tallulah Gosh with Beatnik Boy. Tallulah Gosh turned into, who did they turn into? I can't remember. Somebody on Sarah Records. Mighty Mighty, Throwaway, and the BMX Bandits, The Day Before Tomorrow. So, just for an overview of how varied the indie scene was as we came into the late 80s with this and C86 plotting my course. Absolutely brilliant. And I'm still investigating these bands today. I mean, at the time, I didn't have the money to go out and buy all the 7 inches and albums and stuff. I mean, I now have 1,000 Violins stuff. Flatmates reformed. I meant to go and see them, and I missed them. But absolutely brilliant. I still play this regularly. Just a fantastic, fantastic compilation. There we go. Anyway, I mean, also around the same time, I started reading music papers and magazines for the first time, really. Most of them I've now ditched. Over the course of years I've ditched, but I guess it was because of these 2 tapes here, and these opened up new avenues of music. Was a magazine called Underground, and I've only got a couple of copies of it, but this was it's almost like an indie Bible at the time. I don't think it ever sold in really big numbers. I don't think it ever challenged Enemy or Melody Maker or Sounds or anything. I think I was also buying Sounds at the time this came out, but just this, I got this because this was the first issue, and this had classic independent 45s, a little magazine on the outside which I never detached, which I'm glad now because I would have lost it probably. But you got postcard, it's just so this is all stuff that I would have, I mean, I know now Orange Juice, fantastic singles. So this is all stuff I've investigated over the years, and I'm so glad I kept that. Now with that, not only did you get a free magazine with classics 45s, you also got this, which is Rhythm and Noise. It's a compilation of Rhythm and Noise. So the bands on here just absolutely brilliant. I'll put that down there because I'm going to look at those 2 in a minute. So you've got the normal Warm Leatherette, which is an absolute synth classic. I mean, it's so ahead of its time. It's unbelievable, and it's a brilliant, brilliant track. Absolutely brilliant. When was this released? So I think this was 1987, April 87. So about the time, sort of in between C86 and Indie Top 20 Volume 1. Then you got Depeche Mode doing Pimp, which is on, I've forgotten the name of the album, but I can see the cover. Never Let Me Down Again album, or whatever it is. Anyways, it's a superb instrumental. Sonic Youth track, I've got a Catholic block. So actually, this was early. I did hear Sonic Youth just before Chicane Youth, but there's only 1 track, so I got a Catholic block, which is great. Then you got the Shaman in their earliest psychedelic guitar-y mode, doing Shitting on Britain. Obviously political even then. Throwing Muses, America, they're a really... Why doesn't anybody talk about Throwing Muses anymore? Because they were a great band. Then you got Clock DVA, 4 Hours, more superb early industrial. Low Life, Ramified, honestly can't remember that actually. And then you've got Cabaret Voltaire, one of their earliest tracks, Seconds Too Late. I think one of their very early stuff, when it was very experimental, tape loop based, and just brilliant. So that obviously played a part, played that over and over again. And then later on, I think, when was this? Oh, this is a year later, 88, I bought a second copy of this. Flatmates on the cover. Yay, fantastic band, Flatmates. Lots of good stuff in here, lots of good stuff. Micro Disney, Pete Murphy, Sugar Cubes. There's a thing on Creation Records in here. Fantastic. So it covered. So here we've got the music they covered. So it's metal, B, hardcore, death, disco. I don't know, I don't know what that is. Psych surf, punk, electro. So it's covering all the basically left field bases. And another tape. This one's called Strum and Drum. And this was a great tape as well. You've got the Raw Herbs. She's a Nurse. Nice, lovely stuff. More Wedding Present and Meow, who are both on C86. The Vandals doing a great track called Lady Killer. You got the House Martins from I presume their first album. But then you've got two songs which have stayed with me. So you've got the Go-Betweens, which would have been the first time I heard them ever, with a song called Karen, which I absolutely love. And I think it says here it's a debut, so maybe it's a debut single or something, or maybe a track off the debut album, I'm not sure. Then you got the Stupids, which was stupid surf punk, skate punk rather, not surf punk, skate punk. And then you've got a song by Alex Chilton of Big Star. First time I'd heard him, and I didn't know who Alex Chilton was at the time. In fact, I don't think I'd ever heard of Big Star at that point. And a song called No Sex, which it should be more well known. It's just excellent. But here it's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, go Underground. Responsible for shaping my musical taste. And then just to round this off, probably didn't shape my musical taste, but a reflection of what I was into, which is why I picked these up. First off, we'll do that one. So this is a tape called Product 2378, and this is probably an accurate reflection of what my taste was at the time. Even though I probably had most of these tracks on records or somewhere else. I think this was released in 1990. So I think I bought this. Was this when I was on a road trip somewhere. I was going somewhere, maybe to see a mate up in Coventry or something. I was on the road, and I bought this in a service station because I got fed up with the tapes I had. And so on here you got the Wonder Stuff, New Order, Mary Chain, Wedding Present Again, Poppies, Can You Dig It, Happy Mondays, New Model Army, Weather Prophets. I mean that's a tape from heaven for me at that point. Morrissey, Susie, Pixies, In Spirals, Crazy Head, Throwing Muses, all about Even the Mission. I mean, that just about summed up. I mean, alright, there's no metal on there, or anything approaching rock, but for my indie taste, that was just about perfect, and it was a great listen, and I've still got it. And then the final one, this is more reflective of my taste for picking up just about anything. Well, not anything, but anything interesting. So this is A Taste of Armageddon. This is a really interesting tape, actually. This is a tape of demos of British thrash bands from 1988, I think. I think it was 88. I did look up on Discogs, but I can't, and I've promptly forgotten. But none of these bands made it big. But I listened to this again a couple of days ago, and it is really good. If you ever see a copy of this, I would pick it up. Somebody like, Cloudy, I think you'd love this. I don't think any of these bands. I think some of them released a few albums. Some of them, most of them, a lot of them didn't even get past the demo stage. So you got bands like Treason, Deviant, Sniper with a Y, First Blood, Arbitrator. I think they released an album. Metal Messiah, Resentment, Wreckage, Warp Speed, who actually aren't that fast, and Purgatory. But there's some really good stuff on here. And now that I've actually rediscovered this, I think I'm going to try and track down some of these bands, because they're well worth it. Right, anyway, there we go. short-ish postscript to my last video. Shaping my musical taste. What more can I say? Well, there you go. Now that I've bored you rigid for 50 minutes altogether for the last 2 videos, I shall take my leave and leave you in peace. So thanks very much for watching. Thanks for the new subscribers. Absolutely appreciate when you subscribe. I just think it's absolutely brilliant that you'd even bother clicking that button, to be honest. Listening to my endless witter. So, cheers VC, and I'll see you later. Bye!